we are going to do a Excel. This is Class Heights with Excel. So if you missed it or you're behind, you weren't here, we're going to do a little video. Okay. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go in and hit the Microsoft symbol down here, and I want you to hit Excel from, I'm getting ready to sneeze, sorry, Excel from the desktop. All right, and it's going to open a spreadsheet like this, okay? But I'm going to close this one because I want to use the one behind it. So, but it's basically going to have a spreadsheet just like this, and I want you to hit the auto save button up here. So notice my cursor. Click auto save. Yours is going to automatically go to. It'll do something like this. If I click auto save, it is going to hit OneDrive, and I want you to click on OneDrive and type Class Heights in here or whatever you deem necessary. All right, and that is going to give you that's going to automatically save. Just make sure that's on every time so that you can kind of save what you're doing. Okay, so this is yours is going to be blank. I want you to go ahead and left click. Notice that we have letters that go up and down in columns and rows. So if I click over here, that's column E and row 4. So we call this cell E4. Okay, so that's kind of how Excel works. I want you to type in A1, and I want you to go in and type in whatever your period is. This happens, excuse me, to be first period Class Heights. Go ahead and type that in. Okay. In A3, I want you to type in your first and last name. Okay. So I'm going to type mine in, and we're good to go. In A5, all caps, I want you to type in feet. All right. And then in B5, I want you to type in all caps inches. Now notice if you would like to bold those because they are headings, if you click into A5, come up in here to the activity bar and just hit the B up here, you can make that bold. All right. I know some of you actually love doing that. I think it's awesome. Now, what I'm going to do, because you know, we've measured people in the classroom and you weren't here, or we did it before. I've already got some data. You can just use this data. You're going to have to type it in. I'm going to actually copy it, and I'm going to paste it in here just for the sake of teaching. But you're going to have to actually go in each one of those and type in 5, tab over, and 9.75. I want you to enter all this data, okay? So I don't know if you can see all that. Let me see if I can make it look clear so you can pause this. Yeah, that should do it. So I want you to type in from A6 all the way down all these numbers: 5, 9.75, 5, 9.25. All right. So you can pause this and just type all that information in. Once you are done with that, I want you to go to let's do it in D5. I want you to type in all caps, okay, decimal feet. Pay attention here because we're going to do some formulas. Sorry, I got a little allergies going on. Decimal feet. All right, all caps. Let's bold that as well. And notice I have decimal feet. Now you see how it went into E? That's actually okay. But if you wanted to actually make D a wider column, if you take the cursor, see how it's kind of outlined and then it goes into a black crosshair, go right in between wherever mine is D and E, left click and move. All right. And you should have a column that looks like that. All right, I want you to now click into D6 if you've entered everything. And then once you click into D6, I want you to hit the equal sign. All right, that's the upper right on your keyboard. And I want you to type in A6. If you did everything the way I did it, if it's a different cell, you might have to do a different one, but it should be A6. And then I want you to hit the plus sign, which is actually shift equal. And I want you to type in B6. That's going to add both of those together. but then I want you to divide, which is actually below near the shift key down to the right. It's a slash. I want you to hit the slash, and that's going to be divided by 12, and then I want you to hit enter. And that is going to give you a decimal number. That is 5.8125 decimal feet. Okay? And then we are going to do, instead of doing all those individually, pay attention. Do not try to operate on the corners. Try to put everything in the center of the cell. So if I left click in the center here of 5.825, right click and hit copy. Notice how it copies around. Yours might animate, it might not, but it should be a dotted green line. Then I want you to take the plus sign, put it right in the middle of the next empty cell, and I want you to pull all the way down till you get to the last one. Stay in that column, okay? So it's all the way down there, and then I want you to hit enter. All right, and that is going to give you all the decimal feet. Now I want you to select all of that, okay? Two ways to change the decimals. I can go right click, okay, format, and then I can hit number, and it's going to automatically do 2 decimal places. All right, and then look how pretty that is. The other way that we can do it is select them all, hit home, and boy, come over here to the middle where it says general, and you're going to see these numbers, one with the blue arrow left, blue arrow right. If you click the blue arrow right, notice that it can start deleting decimal places, and I want to keep those all at 2. Okay? There we go. Now, before we go any further, let's make sure everybody does this, because if you don't do this, you're not going to have the option to do some of the fancier features. All right. So do this over until you get it correct. You're going to come up to File, upper left. Okay. You're going to come all the way down to the bottom left where you see Options. See, I'm left clicking bottom left, and you are going to get this screen. Down to the left here, you're going to see add-ins. I want you to left click on add-ins until this screen changes. It might take about 5 seconds. And then right here in the middle, Analysis Toolpak, left click, not VBA, Analysis Toolpak VBA, but Analysis Toolpak regular. Come down to where it says the little go button. And then right here, I want you to click on this so that that button has a check mark, and then I want you to click OK. Nothing's going to happen after you do it. Just click OK, and that's going to set everything up. Okay? That you must do. Because if you don't get this next thing, you're going to have to do it over again. So to get our statistics, mean, median, and mode, I want you to come up to the tab here. See this tab? Hit data. And if you did this correctly, those steps before, you're going to see all the way to the right, follow my cursor, data analysis. You're going to left click. And the only thing that starts with the D is descriptive statistics. Now pay attention here. Again, if you don't get this, go back and do the previous steps to be able to load this, but you should have it now. Descriptive statistics, and then click OK. Okay. Input range. You should see this with a white rectangle to the right blinking. Make sure the cursor is blinking in there. And then I want you to come up, and I want you to left click on decimal feet, just the numbers, and come all the way down. Okay, and then let go. And that's it. It's going to put some weird symbols in there. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is you got to come down where it says output range, and I want you to hit the button. It should make a blue donut, but then you also have to go to the right and make sure the cursor is blinking in that white rectangle. And then I want you to come up to somewhere like F5, left click in there. Okay. It's going to put a green dotted line in F5, and then come over and hit summary statistics. So make sure all that's done, and then click OK. And you're going to notice, look what it did. It put in this beautiful chart that has all your mean, median, and mode. You didn't have to do it at all with calculations. So in between F and G, if that's where you put it, left click and move that so that now we have some space where you can read standard deviation. And we're going to do the same thing with these numbers. All the numbers here where you are going to highlight. I'm going to use the home tool, come over to the middle here, and then hit the little decimal button until I get just 2 decimal button. All right, we are 90% done. Now, I want you to look at the chart. The minimum number in this chart is 5.17, okay, if you put the numbers incorrect. The maximum is 6. So on our x-axis, when we do a histogram, this is our visual, I need to include numbers between 5.17 and 6. So there's really, you've got a lot of variety on how you do this. Let's left click down somewhere in like F22 in all caps. I want you to type in bins. This is what we call these bins. These are called little reference bins that we're going to set up our intervals. And I think the best way to do it, since we need to go from 5 to 6, let's type in 5 right underneath there. And let's go up in increments of 0.1. So I want the next one to be 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, and so on, all the way up until 6 feet. Okay, so 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9, and then 6. So I have bins 5 in increments of 0.1 all the way to 6, and leave it just like that. Okay. And then what we are going to do is we are going to go to data again. All right. And then I want you to go to data analysis again. And the only thing that starts with an H, histogram, and hit OK. Now, in histogram input range, make sure it's blank and it's blinking. Same data that we did for the descriptive statistics. We're going to go under decimal feet, pick all those numbers. All right, get down to the last one, let go. Now, the thing that's different here is we have bin range. Make sure you go and click into the empty space, and you've got the white, you got a little blinking cursor in that empty space, not up top, but in the bin range. See, it's blinking there. And then I want you to go pick the bins, 5 to 6. All right, that puts some other stuff in there. Same button down here, output range. Make sure the cursor is sticking, blinking to the left in that little rectangle. And then we're going to put a histogram anywhere over here in this blank space. So if I click anywhere, I put a green little rectangle, dotted rectangle, and then you have to come back, hit chart output, and then hit OK. And look what we got. You can actually move this a little bit, but that is your histogram, and it makes a little bell-shaped curve. All right, shows you your average, which is like 5.6. So somewhere in here is our average. And then the only thing I want you to do is come up, click on bin underneath this x-axis, and I want you to type in class heights. Guess what? You are done. That is using Excel to do statistics and our histogram. All right. So then save it. It should save automatically, but you can click this little button up here. I want you to go back to Teams, and I want you to click on the assignment. It should be a place that says attach, and then I want you to find this on OneDrive. All right. And then send it in, and you should be good to go. Thanks for watching. Hopefully everybody is good. I am going to come back and let's stop sharing and let's stop recording. Oh, Mickey, you doof. There we go. Hope, did it stop? Oh, come on. I'm having trouble stopping. There we go.